This is the Video Gadgets Journal, connecting you with your technology. And this is a HTC Google Nexus 9. Let's find out what's in the box. And this is where the real journal begins, with me behind the camera talking about the Google HTC Nexus 9. And this is the unboxing video. Fortunately, UPS have sent me the correct device. They have not sent me an iPhone 6 or a pair of flip-flops, which is what I worried about in the previous video. So what we're going to do is have a look at the box quickly and then see what's inside it. On this side of the box, nothing too interesting other than the big number 9, which is actually indented into the box, which gives it a nice touch. It's a pure white frontage. It also gives us a little bit of information about the product that I bought, which is the 16GB Wi-Fi version, and it's the Lunar White one. I've never found any need to get a bigger tablet in terms of capacity. I haven't reached 16GB even on my Nexus 7, so it doesn't seem to be necessary. We've also got a Nexus logo here. On the side here there is lots of serial numbers and where it was made, which was Taiwan if you're interested, so I'm not going to show you that side. We'll just look at the other borders, which you can see have nothing on them other than the brand, maker, the manufacturer HTC. This is my first HTC product and I'm quite looking forward to using it since I've heard a lot about their build quality and design. And then on the other side, obviously, the software makers, which is Android and of course Google to a larger extent. And on the flip side, we actually have the device itself, the Nexus 9. Marvelous. Now I've just been inspecting the cardboard of the box and it looks a little distressed around here. Almost as if the cardboard may have been wet at some point, although I don't think that's the case. It just looks a bit scrappy and scruffy. So I'm hopeful that there's nothing wrong with the packaging inside, and we're going to find that out now. I had to have a little bit of an inspection on how to actually open it, and it looks as if these corners here actually have tear points, which will help me open it, although it's quite sturdily kept together. So we're going to open it now with the help of some scissors. And this is a one-time only shot, so if I get this wrong on video, there's no turning back. There we are. I've just made a start earlier on just to help me out. And this isn't particularly interesting, so we'll jump cut here, I think. So I've discovered my first tip for all you new HTC Nexus 9 owners. If you want to cut down here, don't use anything like scissors, which have a fairly thick cutting sides. You're going to have use a knife. Now obviously I didn't want to use a small knife because I've always wanted to save this on camera. That's not a knife. This is a knife. Okay, so the box has now been cut, so let's have the reveal of the device itself. And there we have the Nexus 9 pointing right at me. The first thing you see in the box, if I take it out, it looks as if it has a smiley face on there, which is quite interesting. Or almost as if someone's put a handprint on it, or a badger's paw print or something. Anyway, there's your HTC Nexus 9. Very, very, very early impressions are that it's actually quite light for its size. And its size obviously is substantially bigger than the Nexus 7. But I'm not going to go too much into detail about that yet. But that's the Nexus 9, which we'll come back to in a little bit of time. So we'll look at what else is in the box. And here we have something interesting in the middle. It's actually quite thin, so this looks like it's the instructions for the Nexus 9. Actually, that's just a piece of card. Presumably, I'm going to have a guess at warranty. No, that's quick setup. This looks like it's a warranty, which is significantly bigger. Okay, let's do data off Star Trek The Next Generation. Yep, read that. And then underneath we have what looks to be a plug. Do you call them plugs in North America? We certainly do. And I want to show you something in a little bit, but this is the interesting style of plug that we have here with the HTC logo on it. Quite long and sticky outy, if I'm quite honest. And there is presumably the micro USB cable as well. Let's just see if we can open that up. Yes, standard micro USB cable there. So all the regular things. So much like an Apple iPad, we have quite a thick, deep box. With only a central bit of the box actually cut into it. And then we've got all this wasted space around here. I suppose there's no other way to package it unless you're going to put it in plastic and have a bit sticking out. But anyway, I'm waffling a bit here. That's your box, which I've made a bit of a mess of, but there you are. So I just wanted to talk a little bit more about the plugs, and this isn't necessarily anything to do with the HTC Nexus 9 plug. It's more to do with North American plugs or European plugs versus UK plugs, which I think are far superior. Obviously you can see that it has 3 prongs, which means that when you put it into a wall it's a lot more solid and doesn't jangle like North American plugs, which seem to stick in and then maybe almost fall out at a bit of an angle. And I'm assuming this one certainly, because it's quite long. You're going to plug it into the wall and it's probably the gravity is going to make it do that a little bit, which I've always found a little bit frustrating with North American plugs. Also on UK plugs, we have a plastic inlet here, so that if the plug ever sort of came out slightly, you're not actually touching the live connectors, which is an interesting safety feature of UK plugs. I'm not sure whether this little deviation is going to find any interest in any of you viewers. The one big problem though with UK plugs is often when you drop them, they end up pointing upwards, and then you stand on them and you have to go to hospital, which is why we have free NHS. It's because everybody stands on plugs which are pointing upwards. And so onto the centerpiece of the box, which of course is the tablet itself. Now I have a giant big LED lights shining down on it, which isn't really helping things, so I'm going to turn this off. So this will make things a little bit darker, but hopefully you should be able to get a better look at the tablet itself, which is this. And it's still got an interesting, is that a picture of Jesus on the front of my tablet? It could be, you know, like when you have burnt toast, which ends up looking like a deity or something. Yeah, it could be. Anyway, that's a tablet, what it looks like on that side, and now obviously the focus has all gone a bit weird, so in order to fix that we'll turn it round. And yes, this is a lunar white one, as I explained earlier, and I actually do quite like the look of the back of this. It's not quite a bright, shining, gleaming pure white. It's more of a milky, dull white, which I quite like. So we'll tear off the plastic and see what's underneath. And that's your tablet again, which has gone immediately out of focus as soon as I turn it onto the black side. There we are, yeah, that looks a little better. So obviously we have the camera in one of the corners, that being the top left corner of the tablet. On the borders we have a microphone jack there. I'm not sure what that is. It could be an infrared sensor, or it could be a microphone. I haven't, to be honest, done that much research into the very specifics of the Nexus 9, because that's one of the things I want to discover as I use a product. It's kind of like a storytelling version of videos. It's going to be an exploration and journey for myself, which hopefully informs you as I go along. So I don't know what that is at the moment, but I would like to find out. On this side of the tablet there is absolutely nothing. Onto the bottom side, which has of course the micro USB charging port, and then on this side we have some power buttons, obviously on and then up and down. That looks to be the microphone point there, which unfortunately is not being picked up very well on camera. Let's see if turning on the light makes any difference. You can just pick that out there, but unfortunately we can't. There we go. So there's the microphone. And then we have two power buttons here, and I'm just going to quickly test them. There's a little bit of a click on them, but not much of a satisfying one, and they are quite flush with the sides. So it's almost feeling a little bit like the Galaxy S4 here, where the buttons don't have much of a tactile feedback to them. But again, this is all something that I'm going to have to explore in a lot more detail as I use the tablet. In terms of the front of it, if it stays in focus, you probably can't see the bezel. Well, you can just see the rim or bezel of it, and it's quite a thin width of bezel, but then on the bottom and top, much more of a border, as you might expect. And of course there is the front-facing camera pointing towards you, and as you can see, it's already picked up a few finger marks, but that's to be expected for a tablet. So that is pretty much the unboxing video of the Nexus 9. If you do have any questions, this is where we start sharing and discussing your thoughts on the Nexus 9 and what you immediately think about it. My initial impressions are that I like the weight of it. The size doesn't seem too ridiculous as I first anticipated, but I will do some comparisons against the Nexus 7 soon. But I'm a little bit concerned about these power buttons and volume buttons that don't feel as if they have much to them, but I'll have to do more inspection, of course. As you've seen, this is my first view of it, the first 10 minutes of me having this out of the box. Tell me what you think, guys. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon in another Video Gadgets Journal where I will turn on the HTC Nexus 9 for the first time. Thank you very much for watching this VGJFelix video. I hope it intrigued, informed and entertained you. If it did, I would really appreciate you clicking that thumbs up button at the bottom of the video, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already done so.